Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first coaching session I have actually ever done. Just a few things before we get into it. This is a session with a player who is in Silver League. They wanted a more Alarak focused session. So we do spend quite a lot of time talking about Alarak specifically and not so much about the map, but it was more so how to use the hero effectively. So if you're looking for deep macro play for this map, you might not hear me explaining too much, but there will be parts where I am explaining what he should be doing during this match. And the coaching session does go on for quite a while. Feel free to exit the video and watch another part another time. You guys obviously don't have to binge watch the whole session if you don't want to, but it might help you to watch parts here and there if you are interested in Alarak or playing Alarak on this map, or just in general tips and tricks with Alarak. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this session and I hope you learned something from it. Ooh, fancy.
Well, I'm trying to inspire my team since it's a Hero League game. I'm like, okay, look, I'm not a joker on this hero. I'm like, I can do.
Okay, so let's talk about two sides. So this was a Hero League draft, yeah?
Yes.
Can I ask what order? Do you remember what order things were picked in? Do you remember if you're? I'm assuming you're not solo laning, or you are solo laning here.
I mean, I think we didn't have a very good plan. It's like
Okay.
it's Silver League. Nobody kind of taught. Like, let's see how voice changes it. I don't know. I'm excited, but you won't see me solo lane until the end. Finally, at that, like, once we're like over 10 minutes into the game, I think I'm like, look, why don't you guys let me solo lane? You guys like own top and as a 4-man, and then rotate as you can. And I said that in the team chat, and someone's like, oh, like, that's too late for you to say anything. But it's because early on someone said, okay, Ragnaros, you solo. In terms of the draft, I think I might have come at the end. But look, Ryoma, I'm really bad at the draft. That's one area I can definitely learn a lot in. I mean, I feel like I could. Alarak's pretty good. I think
the
in most comps.
Draft question was just mainly to ask what order. It's not to critique your team on what was picked, because I can only base it on the game that I'm watching, and that you go through how many drafts per day or however long you play. There's going to be a million more drafts to come, so don't worry about the draft in this. We'll just talk about what we can actually talk about, which is what we have in front of us. So typically your solo laner would be top lane, so Rag ideally would be top lane and you guys would be bot lane. This isn't something that is, let's say, set in stone, but it's almost become kind of one of those meta things, like, okay, top laner is solo lane and bot lane is the 4-man. But this is where, if you remember, I mentioned, things I would like people to think more dynamically, and you know, why can't the top lane be what's it called, the 4-man? Because I've seen some teams do that, even on pro team, where they've just sent 4 people top lane and they just rush the towers because they think that, or even just get the solo laner killed and just rush the towers and whatever. For some maps, there are specific reasons why you would want your solo lane on a top lane. The main reason being it's the safest lane. For Braxis, it's not really. You don't have to have your 4-man on bot lane, but it's almost always there. It's usually better for the blue side to have their 4-man on the bot lane because their ease camp is really quick to take and you can take it during the objective. There's a lot of different tactics. I'm not going to go through everything. I'm just going to try and talk about you. So enough about that. Your talent choice is absolutely great. I would have picked the exact same talent. Ruthless Momentum is probably hands down the best choice you could have picked it. That's off to a good start.
And is that because I picked it because I thought Lucio would probably be able to keep me up, and I feel like
right. So in general, Alarak's playstyle is a decent combo. Alarak's playstyle is a decent combo, but bear in mind you're only 2 people, and you could have been punished for that. They've got Kel'Thas, Dahaka. I'm talking about stuns here. Dahaka, Kel'Thas, even Oriel stun, even a swap from Artanis. So it was very risky to do that. What you just did, you got away with it, but ideally you wouldn't do that. You would just be poking with your E or just stand behind the fort at this point, because honestly, doing that damage, yeah, you get a bit of poking, but it doesn't really do much. In fact, where your damage would have been most valuable here is the minion wave. There's at the moment they're 5-man. Oriel struggles to deal with poke because she needs someone on her team to deal damage in order to heal. That's where heroes like Chromie and stuff work, but that's an entirely different thing. So poke, yeah, it's good, but at the moment you're concerned about this minion wave. Get that removed ASAP so that they can't push hard, because right now you only have 2 people. Your Gul'dan is top lane at the moment. Varian looks like he's rotating down. I feel like I was in the middle of saying something else, but I forgot. Wait a second.
We were talking about Ruthless and Momentum.
Ruthless and Momentum. Ah, yeah. Okay, so Alarak's playstyle. So you should consider him sort of a melee mage. He's most of the time going to be not in melee range and not auto-attacking. The only times he'll be auto-attacking is if it's... I mean, it's very easy for me to say, yeah, if it's safe to do it, but how do you know if it's safe? Well, you need to basically base that on what is going on at the time. I can't exactly answer that for you, but I can tell you here and there in this replay. So far, you've only seen 3. You've seen 3 people on the enemy team, and I'm not sure how. Hold on, let me just go back a little bit. I'm not sure if we have vision on Vala here. I think you are number 1. I think. No. For some reason, number 5. Okay, this is your vision. I think it's better to keep it on your vision anyway. So you've seen Oriel. Yeah, we have seen 3 people. Vala is missing at this point, and if it were me, I would assume Vala is here as well because of Oriel. But that's fine. You are 4-man, and engage is what you did there was fine. Like, you're just trying to get some damage in, trying to get some. At this point, I probably would also suggest going for the easy camp while the objective is coming up.
At this point, maybe she's doing a camp, huh?
Okay. I'm gonna pick on the Gul'dan here. What Gul'dan's done here, he's actually left the lane. So this is early game. Let's just hypothetically say Gul'dan was you. I know he's not you, but
sure,
for the sake of just giving you information, leaving a lane like this is one of the worst things you could do. Even if you're on probably 5% health, 1% health, I don't care how much percent, you need to be soaking this lane. If the guy is pushing it, that wave should not be here alive. Even if you can just soak it without dealing any damage, and then backing after that if you need to back or rotate after that. Or or you have to wait for someone else to cover lane. Because there are only 2 lanes on this map. This is crucial experience. You can already see that they're higher on XP. I can't actually see what. Ahead, yeah, I can't actually see. This may just be because this wave hasn't been. I don't know how many minions are there. Quite a few. There's 5 minions. That's more than half the lane.
So, but how do I? So I have idiots on my team do this kind of thing all the time in Silver. When I see this occur, when someone abandons the lane like that, do I immediately leave and go to cover that lane?
Absolutely. In the early game, unless you can secure at least 2 kills, okay. I don't know the exact number, and I don't know when it breaks off. But in the early game, 1 wave is worth more than a kill. So, in theory, if you got a kill down here, it would still be worse than not being up here. And you've actually spent resources here as well, and he may have brought down a turret or something. There's potential for this kind of thing. But in terms of speaking about you, at this point, if I were you and I saw Raggy wasn't going up there, I would go up there as the Alarak player. As you can see, he's just free sieging here.
The beacons have activated. Control them. Let's make this work.
You are 5-man here. Great combo. If you had your level 4 Chaos Flames, you would have completed that. It's good. I can't critique that any. I mean, based on what was already going on, I think you got the most value of what you could have where you were. Vala's capping that. That wasn't a Dahaka kill, but I think Ragnos actually pays with his life here. No,
Probably, yeah.
Lucky guy.
He gets away.
It's a very common thing. Okay, so we see this Artanis popping out here as well. So you've decided
I'm looking way overextended, right?
Yeah, you are really extended because right now you've just seen your Ragnaros, face tank the turrets. Your Varian is rotating away, and there is no one on the map. You don't see anyone apart from the Artanis that has just come up. But before this, you didn't see the Artanis either. So in your eyes, yeah, you can only see Dahaka, but you should always assume, unless you can actually see them, that there is someone around. So it's tough for me to say that so easily, because even I sometimes, I mean, that's how people, make mistakes and they die in the game. They've misjudged whatever it was, but it's how many times do you make that mistake is what we can change.
Right. Yeah. I get hungry. I want to fight.
Yeah.
I understand
silly, your Alarak. I get it.
Right. But
sorry,
yeah,
I'm gonna be drinking water here and there. So if I don't respond straight away,
do.
it's probably because I'm drinking water.
Please do, man.
Okay, so you've gone for a combo on him. I think you get your Q off. Yeah. That's unfortunate there. He wants the tongue. Yeah.
They
you get
probably
away.
might even.
No, you get away. What you could have done there. You could have tried to sidestep the Artanis, but he was directly on you, so I don't blame you for getting caught in that. The only thing I can blame you for is being that far into the lane. Also, after the swap, if it's possible, get into the minion wave, because Dahaka's tongue can hit one of the minions. So instead of walking out on the outer edge of the minion wave, you can walk through here and potentially stand in front behind one of these minions, and he can tongue that, or you just won't be tongued at all. What the player also could have done here is to pull Artanis into the turrets, get some extra damage off. Might have actually been able to maybe secure a kill, but at least chunk him down pretty hard for him to have to back or tap a well.
Before I probably won't forget to ask because I made notes, but before we go, I'd love to hear, the other day when you streamed on the 13th, and you dropped a pearl that I didn't even know about, which is that you can W Artanis out of his swap. I had no idea. I just wanted to pick your brain to see if you know of any other advantageous interactions for Alarak.
Did I do it on stream though? Did I just say it, or did I do it?
I don't know if you pulled off the move, but you said it on stream.
Right. I feel like I've definitely done it in the past, 100%. But in terms of the stream, I figured maybe I could clip that and use it in a future video. Anyway, that was just.
I don't know if there's more stuff like that, because that was super interesting to me. I mean, after so many Alarak games, and I'm learning new stuff. I'm like, oh no way, really? I got to do that. I gotta try to pull Artanis out of every one of his.
Yeah. So Artanis, let's say where he is now. Let's say he's where his minion wave is, and he wants to Q across here to hit all the minions with his Q. If you W him here at the apex of his Q, and bring him over here, he's getting hit by these turrets easily. This
free
is often
damage.
It's free damage. It's often how I beat Artanises on the solo lane. I've fought many Artanises and they never expect it.
There are weird interactions that I don't quite understand. I guess it's the difference between a channeled ability, but you can't W Sonya out of her whirlwind, right? So she's spinning.
He's not unstoppable.
Yeah, Sonya's unstoppable.
No, she's not unstoppable either. But in order for her to stop the channel of the thing is, his ability is not a channel. His is basically a movement ability. It's like you could theoretically do it to Genji as well with his dash, but because of how ridiculously fast it is, it's almost impossible. Think of his one as just like a slow Genji dash. It's good getting the center damage on the... Okay, Ragnaros is molten cord here. We see all of them on a map. You absolutely take this fight because of the Ragnaros. Even if
Yeah, I whiffed by pulling him there.
yeah, you've probably backed it because you're too scared of someone being around, right?
Yeah, and ganking me when I have no health, right?
Right. I can't blame you too much for that because sometimes we can be, very focused on what's going on, that you didn't look at the minimap. So I'm not going to blame you too much for that. You made a safe choice. You haven't actually picked the talent yet. It's still level 5.
I didn't realize I could grow.
I've been
You've just picked it now.
by that on that before by I've just started to do a little Twitch streaming myself, and I got called out by my dad
for not
actually.
taking out your
for not taking
talents.
my talents fast enough. Yeah.
Right.
I have a little ADDs, so one of the things that comes with that is like laser focus. So I
Okay.
sometimes, but we all have shit we struggle with, right?
Okay. Yeah, we do. We do. I just want to go back a bit because I don't think I saw. I'm just trying to see what you saw on the map. Okay, we are here. You are 4 bots. There is no vision on the enemy team. Oriel has just come out. You've seen the Kel'Thas. Based on what I saw there, I absolutely would have either gone for the Kel'Thas kill or checked to see if they're doing this camp. Because with 3 people missing is very, very strange. And I would also think that he's up here.
But I'm not the guy to check that, right?
Yeah,
like
but you
Alarak
do-
shouldn't be checking that.
You do have the option to ping.
Okay, so ping it and try to get the
Ping
team.
danger, ping assist, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It'll
I can
be
tell
a
you
4v4.
that's an area where I'm not on top of my play at all. So like realizing who's missing and what could they be doing. Like maybe they're taking that camp right now. Like should we invade if they are?
It doesn't necessarily mean you should invade. Simply having the vision there is invaluable, because they may just take them off the camp. They don't know that you don't want to go in. They may think, oh shit, they're coming. We gotta get off this camp. It's sometimes a little mind game being played, but in order for you need to know where the enemy is. Okay, that's it. The minimap is your best friend in this game. It's something you should be. Do you drive?
Yes, indeed.
You do drive. It's like your rear view mirror, your side mirror. It's basically like that. You need to be looking at it every couple seconds. So we saw the Kel'Thas. There was no one else around there. So either I'm assuming they're behind this fort, they are on this camp, or they are rotating to Ragnaros. And either way, in all the circumstances, I go for the Kel'Thas here. We've seen Oriel as well. Okay, we have seen Oriel. Sorry, I thought it was just the Kel'Thas. So we see Oriel and Kel'Thas. The Haka and Vala. Vala's dead, actually. Okay, there was information that I had missed there. Yeah, you absolutely go for this kill here. With Vala dead there, a person being dead opens the map for you when you have 5 members. It lets you, assuming you have the resources, it lets you use the map the way you want to. And this Kel'Thas is there to be used right now.
Okay.
And you've just seen, I literally just saw him go in there. If we look at the vision, he's gone to get that orb. Oh, my voice just broke. He's gone to get that orb because he doesn't have the quest, he just wants some mana. But yeah, I would have punished that. I would have gone straight for him. And you are going straight for him. You did see him there. I would have liked it a bit sooner, but you had the right idea. Now at this point, your team is up here. Vala's still missing based on what you already know. You don't know that she's coming here right now. You see her now. You know that there's 3 enemies here. Very nice. Really good job. Really, really good job. I thought that you might try and go for a combo just to get some damage in or try and stack up. That might have been okay as well. But I think
I was trying to save the Gul'dan.
Yeah, even just like maybe 1 or 2 auto attacks would have killed the Gul'dan. But your choice was absolutely correct. It was not wrong what you did. What you're doing now is very wrong.
Because it's 2v3.
Yeah. The variant is there, but I'm not sure why he's not engaging.
I'm telling you, we're making a desperation play because we see those things getting capped and they're almost about to get the wave. So
Absolutely.
we're like, well,
Absolutely.
trying to make a last-ditch attempt, but it's still wrong. Huh?
Yeah. Okay, so it's difficult to critique this because this is not playing. The game so far has not played what is the way it should be played, the way the map should be played. So it's
that's in my league. That's always the way it is.
Hard,
like it's never played the right way.
it's hard to tell you to do something because you know the foundation isn't there.
Right. That's what I deal with. Like it's every game, every single game
But it's fine. This may actually be better for you because it helps you basically figure out what's right and what's wrong. Okay, so the wave is going up top. At this point, you do not go up top. Okay, good. You don't go up top. This is a smart choice as well. So I don't think I need to ask you the question, but the reason why you didn't go up top was because you have Ragnaros there, you have Gul'dan there, your main wave clears there. Alarak's not going to do much against this wave. Lucio, in fact, I mean, they are 4-man bot here. I would have liked maybe just Ragnaros and Gul'dan to clear it, or just Gul'dan to clear it, because they do have the tools to eventually clear. Maybe we'll lose the front wall for sure. I mean, it's a tough.
We probably lose the fort.
The thing is, yeah, I mean, you're at a disadvantage right now. You have lost the objective. I can't say this. Oh, you know, you're doing this wrong because you've lost forts. You're gonna lose forts. You need to accept that. You've lost the objective. How do you minimize that is a different question. What are you doing? Fine. I mean, personally, you as the Alarak player, you're doing fine at the moment. Close. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
See, that's why I blame that Lucio. Like, what was he doing out there?
Yeah, he shouldn't have been out there. Alphas has died. I think Artanis died? That sucks. Okay, Artanis does die a variant. 2 for 1. That's really great for you.
Yes. Nice work.
Yep. You don't need to be so passive here though. You've just seen them back off. And there's 1 or 2 minions. They can't stay here if there's no minions.
I think I do that a lot. I get afraid when I still want to. Once one of my abilities goes on cooldown, I'm like scared. I'm like, okay, well I got my poke in, now I better get back to get safe, you know, because I think like Q is on cooldown then too.
No,
so I'm like,
in fact, that's something I wanted to talk about afterwards. Well, I've actually just noticed you're level 7. I'll talk about that as well. So, like I mentioned before, Alarak is basically a melee mage. He fills the role of the mage in your comp. So, in the ideal world, for me, my draft would not consist of a mage. There would be no Gul'dan. There would be a sustained damage dealer that has decent AoE. The reason why you want a sustained damage dealer, and to be honest, Gul'dan isn't the worst because he does have decent sustained damage. So, in that sense, yeah, he's not the worst, but auto attack damage is decent. Is always nice to have, and I don't know, it's not the worst case scenario I've seen here. Gul'dan is probably one of the better mages that you could have picked. If it was someone like Jaina, I'd go insane. You would not want someone like Jaina or someone. It's basically anyone who has long cooldowns, because you're a hero that has fairly long cooldowns. Once you've used your combo, your E, you don't have much other than your auto attack, and that's the reason for picking Mirithos Momentum as well, because you are purely based. Your hero revolves around your abilities, and being able to reduce the cooldown on those makes it, you know, it's easy for you. Yeah, you need the sustained damage in your team comp when you're drafting with Alarak, and you have to also make sure that the team does not have too much melee. I've had teams where I've got too much melee. So you can speak.
Well, with Alarak, then, so let's say we were in draft, and let's say Jane is picked first. Does that, with Alarak being my best hero and the hero I really want to take into Hero League, do I not draft him?
I would
that
absolutely not take Alarak.
Okay.
Alarak is
Take
completely
anything but Alarak then.
Yeah,
huh?
I mean my Alarak would be way higher if I just picked him all the time, but
Mhm.
I can't
But you
do
don't,
that.
right?
Yeah, I can't do
Okay.
it because I know I would just be gimping my team.
Mhm.
He works really well with heroes that have follow up CC. Right now, your team. This is sorry, I should have actually mentioned this at the beginning as well. Your team has no CC whatsoever, apart from Varian at level 10, and that's at level 10. That's another thing that you guys are lacking. The only CC you have is yours, which is even more reason why you should be in a 4-man.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, so in terms of when you should be drafting Alarak, yeah, not with a bursty mage that relies on long cooldowns. And what else did I say? You want to ensure that your tank or whoever else has some form of CC as well. He works really well with Malfurion. Um, Malfurion is probably one of the best supports you can get with Alarak. And the best support in general, I think, at the moment. Stukov is another good one. You know, there's like silences everywhere. In terms of tanks, any tank of CC, honestly. Any tank of CC. Anyone that can just follow up on you pulling them in and silencing them. This is based on you just pulling one target in and that isolating that one target. There's many other ways you can use your combo as well, which I'll get into later. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's a lot of great information. I mean, just to hear like, look, if they have a mage with long cool, don't take Alarak because that's a bad place.
Yeah.
That's information I didn't really have. That sounds that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And the idea that he needs the follow up CC, I kind of had a sense for that, but I would have thought like, well, Varian's got that follow up CC, so
No,
it's okay.
well, at the moment he doesn't. So
because it's not 10, right? But
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't pick Varian here anyway. This is a very snowbally map, and any like Battlefield of Eternity is the same as well. I would not pick Varian there. The games are decided before level 10, most of the time. Like the general, who has the advantage. Okay, we can continue. Your team is taking a hard camp right now. Fine. You don't know where the enemy team is. Let me just go back onto your vision.
Are we worried we're losing Soak on top? Like, we're only soaking top, so.
No, the thing is, Soak is only lost when the minions die.
Okay.
If the minions are not dead, so let's say 1 or 2 minions died here. Yes, you have lost Soak. If the whole wave hasn't completely disappeared, you haven't exactly lost Soak. It's still there. You just haven't received it yet. Which is why a lot of people, let's say this was a 3-lane map, which is why when the minions clash in the middle, and the minion waves are, this is at the beginning of the game, and the minions are just approaching top and bot. That's why everyone goes to mid to clear that wave, get quest stacks, whatever, and the minions are still here to be taken for XP. So here you didn't lose the entire wave, but you got some of it at least. You're not Ragnar, so let's look over here. Ah, you're level 7. There is no talent on this hero other than Applied Force on level 7. There's never an option for these two. You would never take these. Applied Force is the only talent. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what? Okay. I know you just told me something, but I'm questioning it, which I probably shouldn't do. But let's say they have a lot of.
No, I want you to question it.
Double CC to like keep the tanks escape and survival. No, just always Applied Force.
Applied Force, the reason why Applied Force is the only talent here, and obviously, okay, Hidden Motion, absolutely 100% never. This is just flat out. Dissonance, yes, it's the second choice, but when Applied Force is there, yeah, it does reduce your sadism, but so far you haven't gone for the E quest, so you haven't reduced your sadism yet at all. So that doesn't really matter. 10% sadism isn't the worst thing that could happen to you, but 20% further push and increased range. So that means you can push yourself further, you can push someone else further, you can push someone else in further, you can bring the backline potentially into the combo. I don't know, I probably could be here for a good half an hour explaining how good this talent is.
So I'll accept that as gospel, but let me ask why. Okay, so let's say for the slow, why is it not valuable to, for example, if you're going to go mocking strikes, at 16, why doesn't the slow help you get another proc on your mocking strikes?
It's not your job to do that. It's not your, because once you've pulled someone in with the combo from range, let's say with applied force, okay? So let's say you couldn't. Let's say hypothetically that person was just out of range when you took him in motion. You couldn't even pull them in the first place. So you've already lost out on that talent. You didn't get value. Let's say you do pull them with hidden motion. Almost always, they're going to get silenced, right? So they get pulled in, they get silenced, and then you get one auto attack off, and then you use your E. So you've got a 2.5 second cooldown reduction after that. Now after that, you would expect people to follow up. And almost always it's going to be followed with some form of CC.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean? Your team comp needs to have that. Now, I know what you're going to say, like, what if your team comp doesn't have it? What if your team comp doesn't have...
or I can't trust my teammates in silver because they suck. So maybe they're not...
honestly, even in that scenario, applied force still works better because you can just bring people in from a much further range. You can, because, like I said before, you're a melee mage. You're going to be mostly playing like a backline hero. You're not going to be in the front line for too long, just in order to do... You're just going to be doing the combo and then moving away most of the time, unless you're trying to secure a kill and you're safe to auto attack. It's a tough thing to say this is like this and you have to always do this.
No, it's good.
No, because it's not always like that. It's not always that you can just pull someone in, combo them, auto attack them down, and done deal. Because the game is so much more than that. But in a general sense, yeah, that's what's going to be going on. Yeah, think backline mage, long cooldowns, and you want to be trying to secure those kills. You're giving the opportunity for your tank, for whoever else has a CC, to pin someone down. So that's why you really need a fight.
So okay, but I can tell you I know exactly what I was thinking when I took the dissonance, but I'll just say,
let me talk about dissonance as well. Okay, so tell me what you were thinking by taking this out.
That they have double bruiser, Artanis, and Dahaka, and with dissonance, when those two guys are up in my team's face, I'm gonna like disable them basically and make them not able to escape or get shit done when they're like in our faces.
Right. I can see the logic behind it. It's not a wrong way of thinking. So in that sense, yeah, you wouldn't need the increased range in order to, because they're already in your face. You don't need them in range when they're already right in front of you. It's I'm willing to accept that because you will get value out of it in that scenario on Dahaka and Artanis. But there's 3 other heroes there as well that are also potentially kill targets, and honestly, they are far more squishy than Artanis Dahaka. I don't think it's okay. Let me go back on why I said then. You're gonna get value out of the talent. It's not like you've picked a dead talent. The talent is a talent. You're gonna get value out of it at some point. I just think you're gonna get more value out of applied force.
Okay.
So I see your reasoning behind it, and if it works for you, and you feel like you win more games or it makes you a better player.
Well, we lost, so it obviously didn't work, right? So
I mean, it's a playstyle thing. I really like applied force just because it's the utility that it provides. It just, and I always have some kind of follow-up CC or whatever that goes on with it. And when I'm comboing, let me just play that again. When I'm comboing, I try to make sure that the hero is actually positioned like to the side of me. So let's say I pulled Vala here. So I would like Vala to be thrown here rather than here. You see what I mean? Maybe I'll get close enough for her to be pushed here or pushed here.
Why
this way so that I can get at least 2 auto attacks off. Because if she's here, you can just run away. you don't have to follow up CC.
If she's
And
alongside of you, she has you get an extra auto.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. That's kind of there's a bit of an, you know, min-maxing kind of thing. It's not really too important. It's not like, oh, you know, you have to do this as Alarak, but it's if it's possible to push them behind you, then great. You know, just try to give yourself more room to auto attack. The main thing I just mentioned it before, but I don't know if I emphasized on it. When you're comboing, always make sure you get the auto attack before you use your E, assuming you haven't used your E already. So let's say you W them in, like you have. Your E's on cooldown right now, but you W in, you Q. After that Q, you need to auto attack, because if you E, you don't get an auto attack off. Just based on how the game works. And you need that auto attack to trigger mocking strikes later on, and obviously to do more damage.
Yeah, we should watch me, but I generally don't think I usually have my E up for. Yeah, I tend to E before I combo. But I don't know if that's incorrect.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. If you need the healing above 80%, that I would have used the E there as well.
I used it before I combo again, which it wasn't.
You've served your High Lord well enough.
Unfortunately, you actually missed the combo there. Let me just go back on that.
I whiffed it.
You did whiff it. Yeah. That would have been a kill if you landed it.
You've served your High Lord well enough.
You go into Dahaka here. Just nice. Really good. I think I can't really tell just yet because I haven't seen you auto attack too many things. But I think you're struggling to do any kind of form of stutter stepping. How do you feel on stutter stepping at the moment?
I don't feel I'm a master of it, but I feel that I make an attempt to do it. The way I do it is I've mapped the A move to the to my other mouse button. So exactly. Yeah, so I have the smart command. So I basically alternate with the click to get the auto in.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's how I stutter step.
Okay.
But I don't know that I'm that good at it, but I try to do it.
I mean, I'm not gonna give you a stutter stepping tutorial right now. There's at the moment there are some good guides on YouTube right now that can really help you with that. So I would highly suggest getting used to stutter stepping. Stutter stepping allows you to get more damage in, allows you to move while attacking.
This is obvious, but it just feels like his range on the attack is so small. It feels just like it's really tough to get that. They're like so quickly out of his.
This is a melee hero that doesn't have any movement speed or inherent slowdown on the enemy team. But you stutter step with every hero, no matter who you. I mean, okay, if you're Tychus or Diva pilot form, you're not going to really stutter stepping too much, or even Lucio, but you want to be moving and auto attacking it. As soon as your auto attack is done, you need to be moving. Basically, whether it's in the same direction as your enemy or away from your enemy, whatever. You can't be standing in one place because you're just a sitting duck. Then, honestly, sometimes that one little movement from your between auto attacks can actually dodge a skill shot. I'm just gonna go back a little bit here because I want to talk about this part in terms of vision and whatever. So we had vision on all three, Kel'Thas, Artanis, Oriel up here. So it was fine to go in for attacks, get the kill. You could have been way more aggressive on Dahaka here. He should not be allowed to do that. You have vision on these three up here. You have your support with you. Vala's not going to be able to kill you. Probably going to be able to kill Lucio if he's too far out. But you could have just meleeed. In fact, I would have stood behind Dahaka here.
What if I got to stand in his spinny crap? Worth?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
You have
take
Lucio
damage because I've got my healer.
Yeah, you've got your healer and you're a hero that has some form of sustain as well. You can ignore that damage. Don't if it's because of Ruthless Momentum, don't play so strictly just to trigger that talent.
Okay. It's
fine if you don't get value of that talent sometimes, in order to do what needs to be done. Lucio's actually standing in the minion wave right now. I see what he was trying to do. He was trying to push the Haka further back so that you could, maybe get another combo off.
Should I have been more aggressive there?
Yeah,
like I just kind of backed off.
Absolutely.
But I'm scared of who's not in my vision, so I'm like,
I would keep going there. You're level 10 now. I think that was a Dahaka kill. Almost because you would have had vision of him using his E over there. And your Q was coming back up, you were on full health. So it's more like, what do I have vision of? Can I do what I'm, what should be done? Right now the enemy, I mean, we did just see them up here. And for the time it takes for them to get... Let me go further back. I should just look at the higher vision. No.
Having trouble staying grounded.
Yeah, they're still up here.
Power spike from the beacons. They'll be active soon.
So close.
yeah, I don't know why I turned there.
You missed an auto attack there as well. So when you're dancing around him, his W does allow him to go through heroes. I need to... hold on. I did that. The enemy heroes are still top lane. We know that, but they're top lane. You've been given movement speed here. You've taken a little side step backwards to auto attack this. You see what you just did?
In fact, that may have been because I was spamming my
You were
my
trying to
A
left
move.
click him.
As soon as he went out of vision,
Right.
the AI might have made my hero turn around and attack what was
Right.
in vision, which
Okay.
is that.
That's something you need to work on then, because
Mhm.
if something goes out of vision or out of range, that left click will auto attack. Actually, I think there is a setting. I think it's something they implemented not too long ago. I think it's when you left click on an area, so the attack to move, it will move to that area and attack the thing that's closest to that location rather than attacking the thing that's closest to you.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
should
you
change
need.
that
If you don't have that on, then I would suggest putting that on.
Okay.
So yeah, you don't have your Q up yet. You don't move up here. Okay, what you're moving up there. You want to be body blocking him here. Dahaka can go through you, but you want to be at least even that half a second or second before. I don't know when his W is up. His W is up.
And then Lucio booped him away. Great job.
Yeah,
Lucio.
that didn't help either, but I think you could have done more there as well. I'm praying that you're going to pick Counter-Strike. Oh no. You didn't pick Counter-Strike.
Did I do Deadly Charge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask you why
Probably.
you've picked Deadly Charge?
It probably I prefer Deadly Charge to Counter-Strike.
Okay.
And I try to take it whenever I can. So I probably looked at my deaths and said, I don't have a lot of deaths at this point. I'm gonna go Counter-Strike to try to get to those backline squishies if I need to, Vala and Kael'thas. And I just probably wasn't being afraid of death. So it was probably dumb because I don't know, did I notice if Kael'thas went his okay, so he went Phoenix, he didn't go his Fireball. But that obviously Counter-Strike's a great against his Fireball, but he didn't go that. But
So
yeah.
the reason for taking Counter-Strike here,
yes.
and almost any other circumstance, there's very few times where I would pick Deadly Charge. Counter-Strike is pretty much almost always a must pick. It's because of the unstoppable and the protection. So you would use it. So specifically in this comp, if the Haka's trying to Q you, if he's trying to stun you with his Q, you can do it preemptively to stop that. If you're gonna get stunned by a Rain of Vengeance, if you're getting focused by anything really, let's say there's 3 people that are on you, the Counter-Strike will allow you to survive for that little bit longer. Perhaps you may be able to get a sound barrier from your teammate after that. Perhaps maybe your cooldown may be fear straight after your Counter-Strike. Or the Counter-Strike gives you enough time to use your W to escape from the enemy. This is what I mean. A Deadly Charge's purpose is to get into the backline and or just deal massive AoE damage. But so is
I do take Counter-Strike a lot, but what I'm hearing from you then is that my premise for taking is wrong. The fact that I haven't had a lot of deaths before level 10 is not a good
your
enough
deaths should
reason
be
to take charge.
If you had 100 deaths, it doesn't matter. That shouldn't affect your choice of. I mean, the reason why you've died so many times, yeah, maybe. Are you dying to the chain CC that the enemy have? Then yeah, pick Counter-Strike. But I wouldn't base it on your deaths. Those statistics don't really matter. I'm more looking at what talents the enemy has picked. I don't know why is Vala has picked this multi-shot, but forget Vala, she's whatever. You
think I should basically almost always go Counter-Strike it?
Yes, because
I've certainly read that, but I get good results with Deadly Charge a lot, I feel like, so I keep myself open to taking it.
So Deadly Charge works with wombo combos, basically. And how many wombo combos do you see on a day-to-day basis? It's basically when you got people clumped up, you've got them all CC'd, so in a mosh pit, in a void prison, in a big APOC, or a chain stun by a Kel'Thas. It has to be some. It's very unlikely you're going to get as much value as you would if you did take Counter-Strike. Especially, I mean, this is not the biggest. I mean, with Oriole there, Oriole alone makes me want to take Counter-Strike, because when usually she's using Aegis on someone who's about to die, or that is being chain CC'd and might die. That Counter-Strike, assuming that the enemy is low, the person that she's crystal, that Counter-Strike triggers off of her Aegis explosion. So even if no one is attacking you, that Aegis explosion, as soon as it breaks, the Counter-Strike triggers and the person dies. You can't heal that. I think that's it. I think I have done that in one of my videos, and it wasn't like like an amazing thing that I highlighted, but I threw it in just so people could see it.
I hear what you're saying. Anytime there's damage coming out, you can use that to guaranteed proc makes your slightly unpredictable ability predictable, so you can predict that damage and deal it. Gotcha.
It's again, I can't tell you how to predict things. I can't tell you, to look for Kel'Thas's gravity laps coming out of him. That's something you need to look for yourself, and you see that coming, you're going to Counter-Strike it. You don't want to get caught in the CC. I mean, you wouldn't with Counter-Strike also. Usually, you would use it after the silence is off, completed, unless there are other people attacking you as well. It's often against one person, the person who is being. Let's say you are just 1v1 this Kel'Thas right now. He doesn't have a living bomb on you or anything, and you've comboed him. I wouldn't Counter-Strike him straight after the combo, because he's not. It's very unlikely he's going to do any damage to you.
He's not going to proc it.
No, because he's silenced. So what he's going to do is the silence is going to wear off, and he's probably going to gravity lapse you to try and get away. He'll probably gravity lapse you and throw a living bomb on, and auto attack you at the same time. That will trigger it and potentially kill him as well. So there's a lot of things you can do with Counter-Strike. I can talk a bit more about it if you want me to, but I think that gives you a general idea of why Counter-Strike is better.
Yeah, I could.
If you're happy with the answer, then
I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear more. I don't know what the best way to spend our time is either. So, but
let's continue the game when we have time. I mean, I have about 35 minutes left, so I think we should get through the. Aegis coming up? No, Aegis didn't come up. Let me look at what you've done here. Well, I was looking at the oil there, see where the heals were going, see what you could have done. The fear is good. The fear is really good. Go in, you don't have your Q. You're stunned. Stunned again. You Q him here, right? You've taken way too long to Q him. I think you were waiting for your telekinesis, right? Yeah, don't wait for that. You don't need to. Q has a good enough range to be able to hit him in where you were.
I gotta tell you, I was knowing how I play and what goes through my head in these moments. I was probably panicking, wondering if I was gonna blow up, and then I was like, I gotta get back. And then like, okay, I'm not gonna blow up right now. I can attack him. Right. So you
could at least get that Q off. If you're worried about getting blown up, you have your W coming up straight after, and you can just push yourself out of the way. You are at. I mean, Dahaka, did he just borrow? think he did just borrow. No, because the Huck is in the lane. Okay. So the team fight itself is not favorable for you. But in this scenario, because the fear makes it so good, the Hug is coming in now. This is your only opportunity to get a kill. After this point, you back off. You don't need to be here anymore. You don't have the numbers, you don't have the tools.
And I did.
Bulldog has other ideas though. I understand you tried to peel for your team there. And it worked for the most part. You don't have the mana to... Oh my gosh, he actually gets the kill there. What's that level 1? Okay, he did have level 1. An Alarak with no mana is a dead Alarak. But I do keep going back because I need to know when you could have backed. Because you did need that mana. A bit further back. I'll fast forward again in a bit. Okay, this is where you get the Vala kill, right? Yeah, that's fine. You try to get the Haka kill.
And I whiffed that.
Okay, you whiffed it here. This is where I would back. The beacons are coming up in 15 seconds. And you are not going to be able to contest this for too long. The amount of time that you did see that we just watched, that was the time that you could have spent there, and that's the amount of time you did spend there. You need to have mana. It's not wrong to back. And at this point, you've gotten, you pushed out the Haka. Here you're waiting for the beacon to actually come. This is the time you could have spent backing. There's no reason for you to stand there.
Agreed. Oh, if only my Q was up.
Yeah, you had enough time to back, so think about that in the future. When the objective's coming up, do I have enough mana to actually be relevant in this fight?
It's hardly an excuse. I get spoiled because Alarak
You know what? I
has so
just
few
noticed
mana
that.
problems.
I didn't even notice this. She aegis herself instead of the Kel'Thas. I don't even know why I didn't see that the first time. I think I was too focused on you. Yeah, okay, that's a fun misplay. But you don't do anything here. You should be backing. And I feel bad because I know what you're thinking right now. In terms of in-game, what you were thinking.
Yeah, I have a full health bar and I really don't want to go back with a full health bar. I really want to make it.
It's... I mean,
Plus
that mana bar is... You had a fountain. You could have taken a fountain.
Like just gone back to the keep to dip because the fountain was destroyed.
Well, I mean, there's a fountain here as well.
Yeah.
I think this is the closer one. I mean, either of those two. But after the variant died, absolutely, you just back off. Another option the player had was to actually take a fountain and go to the top lane to help Ragnaros take the beacon off of Artanis. The enemy did have 3 people pushing a fort bot lane. They do have Dahaka, which I'm pretty sure he had his borrow already. But he may have been able to stall just a little bit longer, or maybe able to cap just for a little bit, or maybe even secure the kill onto Artanis or the Kel'Thas that had popped up shortly after. At this point, there was no way you're going to get any of the beacons. So at this point, you're going to prepare for the wave. This is so dangerous what you're doing here. If the Haka wasn't in vision, or if Artanis wasn't in vision, it would have been way worse. You had vision on most of them, so it wasn't that bad, but I would not have rotated that way, because you're not going to be able to do anything anyway. And fighting here is fairly irrelevant. I understand it can stall the enemy, which is good. Hopefully Varian doesn't die. That's the best outcome you could have got out of that. not dying. Or him not dying.
Yeah, it was dumb, right?
It
Shouldn't have engaged there. When you watch the replay, it's so clear. It's like, oh no, why were we fighting there? You know?
Oh no, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, bless. You get a 3-man queue here. Okay, you could have completed your quest there. How far are you? You had a good 4 seconds, I think. Maybe that was a bit too much. No, 3 seconds. You could have completed it. So based on the play that you shouldn't have done, yeah, you could have got the quest, but you should not have done that. Absolutely not. Your job here is to get the soap. One, 2, 3. I would say 4. Yeah, 3 to 4 seconds. Amber is with. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. The engage was there. I think if you had waited, you may have had the tools to actually potentially maybe grab a kill. But you are 12 to 13 as well. That's what makes it even worse.
It's a talent tier, yeah. Yeah, watching this.
There's the biggest fuck up that you've done. So, yeah, sorry, go on, say.
Oh yeah, no, it pains me to see it and be like, yeah, I totally could have gotten my Q quiet.
Yeah, if the biggest fuck up so far, it has been this. Cooldown should not have gone in because 1, you're not 13, and you can see Rag and Varian is not in the team fight. We're still here though. It was entirely your own fault, your death there. If your team is dying like that, it's the Gul'dan had already died. That's why you just spam ping retreat. If they're not listening, then play with the team, but play passively. Get a combo in, poke it, walk away. Because what you don't want to do is lose your sadism as well. It's too precious. This is Silver League, you said, right?
Yeah.
Just to remind myself. The Huck is actually taking damage from the fort here. Okay. So that deadly charge there, unfortunately you hit nothing with it. You used it to position yourself for the Vala. You are on even talent tiers here, but you don't have a Ragnos. The Ragnos is pushing that lane. The upside to going in now, I would have brought the Haka in. Where is his borrow? He does have his borrow, and he does have adaptation. So even if you did pull him in, he's gonna survive. But it forces a cooldown out of him. The Vala, where's Varian? I can't see Varian. Okay, Varian's all the way back there. You need to wait. I understand that, you know, Vala's going to be moving out very soon. But what you just did with Deadly Charge, you could have done on the mount. You don't need to Deadly Charge across there. I mean, if you want to do it because it looks cool, then that's fine. But, you know, being cool doesn't always help you.
It's cooler to win games, man.
Yeah. Losing is not cool. So, yeah, what you could have done was just gone on your mount, gone with the Varian, because I think even on your mount, she's not on her mount. You could have at least still got the combo off, if that was your intention. If your intention was to single out this Vala. But because you haven't died from this, you haven't put yourself in a position where, you know, oh, you fucked up. It's not the worst thing you did. I just think you could have done something better. You go in here. This is where you go in. Your team needs to go in. You need to go ham. You got all your cooldowns apart from Deadly Charge. If you don't do something amazing here, I'll be so angry. No!
Yeah, I totally could have had the combo too.
Okay. Because you were just slightly out of range, I would have used my W to bring them closer.
I just want to save face for half second. I have lots of videos of me doing amazing things. I picked all the bad ones because
No, this is more beneficial for you. This is so. Do you know? I dream
So
of these
juicy.
things.
Yeah.
You understand? You understand? This is the thing that helps me sleep. Okay.
Well, I got too excited. If I would have taken one step further, I would have queued everybody.
So what you do here is you pushed Orion for Kalsas this way.
That's what I should do.
Yeah,
pull them all.
You pull them this way. These two here. Okay. These two are your kill targets. Okay. These two are fairly. You can pretty much ignore them. They're just there to take damage. Okay. But these two are so out of position. It pains me to see this. But you need to push them here. Okay. You get your 3 stack. You hit the Oriel Kalthas for sure, and you hit one of these with your Q. Then Ragnaros can use his W to slow them down, and I'm pretty sure that Fear follows up here. Yeah, so assuming that you did pull them here, this Fear would have hit here. Okay, and they still would have been in this range in order for Varian to get around and for you to auto attack, the kill targets.
I'm sure I probably saw the stun, thought I can save my W and I'll still get the hit off with the Q, but I messed up and I didn't get that hit on the Q. But obviously, what you said was the correct move.
Yeah, your intention is there, so I will appreciate that. Yeah, your intention was there. Pure Malice, I don't mind that you've picked this because Pure Malice is a safe pick. If you're not too comfortable with Alarak, you are comfortable with him. But what should I say? If you know you're not gonna be crushing people and hitting people the front line a lot with your Q, then that's fine. Pure Malice is fine. Your team is dying anyway.
I was at this point in the game. I'm thinking my team sucks. I'm picking Pure Malice.
Okay. It does feel good to do that, especially when you've got friends. It's even worse when you're playing with friends. It's like, yeah, guys, I'm picking Pure Malice because you guys suck. Okay, so what you could have done, we've gone through that. The Fear is followed up. You need to W the Kel'Thas back. You had a lot of time to do that. You still haven't used a W, even to here. And he's slowed as well, so you had plenty of time. There you do it. But the thing is, there's this shit that's blocking your path. This could have been already killed. You would have already killed him by that point. You may have been able to help more up here. But I think you're looking like you're winning this team fight anyway. But I'm gonna pick on these things because that's the only way you're gonna get better. Keep that lava, wait. Let's see. You move away. You gotta move away. You're not tanking this. Woo! Nice one. That W came in just in time. But you stood there for way too long. You've got 3 other people that can deal the damage and kill him off. You don't need to be doing that. That time you spent just, tanking the damage. You didn't die, but did you see how close you were? Yeah. You were so close to dying, and it hurts me because I can't tell you, oh look, you died and that's what you did wrong. But
yeah, no, I feel you. It stayed too long.
Yeah, you did stay too long. Okay, so your team's gone top lane. Ragnaros. The enemy has 3 deaths. Okay, the map is open for you. If Ragnaros is doing this, great. I'm happy with him doing this. They are, however, getting very close to 16. They're very close. So if this were me, I would be playing super aggressive. This beacon that I've seen here, I'm going straight to that. And I expect my team to come with me. I'm pinging the hell out of that. You need to get another kill. Because if you don't get another kill now, or some kind of crazy map pressure through camps, then you're going to be fighting over the beacon on a disadvantage. You're not going to get any value elsewhere. At least if you're fighting for or like poking a beacon or alternating between the lanes, at least, the very least, you can have one of their heroes clearing a camp or out of the game through a death, so that you can make that talent tier far less impactful. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah. If they're going to come back on 16 and we're going to be behind, this is our one chance. I got that.
You wanted to go first, so I don't mind that. So the initial, I'm happy you didn't engage onto Dark here, because one, you don't win that fight. Sorry, and two, two, you don't know where the enemy team is. They could have been in this bush. By this point, this is fine. So you see where he was taunted there? He was just taunted as soon as you used your W. Where he was taunted, I guess it's tough to say. I mean, I think, to know that he was gonna taunt, I would have expected the taunt. You've got 3 people there. This is an isolated target. I think you should expect the taunt. And if he doesn't taunt, I think even just a Q. I think he's slowed down. I think even just a Q. You are mounted here, right? No, you're not mounted. You need to be mounted. There's so much time that you could have spent just getting in position. Okay, so the taunt went off before you W, but it was quite close. You deadly charge here. You have to deadly charge here. No, okay. You don't need to hold deadly charge for that long in order to move for that distance. In fact, it's literally less than a second. So there were 2 ways you could have got the kill. Two ways were, one, what could have happened based on if you were mounted or if you just walked over here. Because your W afterwards could be used to secure the kill as well, just to pull him, wherever he's running to.
The W was wasted. Yeah,
and then based on what was what actually happened, you could have deadly charged him here. These 2 are irrelevant. It doesn't matter. You get the kill here. This is the best thing for you right now. And like I mentioned before, you need that kill. This is good though. You're getting a good push top. You deadly charge Kalthus here. He just comes out. I don't know why you've used a Q there. Probably just reaction time, but you shouldn't have used a Q. This is where you're losing the fight. You see how many people we've got here? We're 5 against 4. And Gul'dan's still top lane.
And we're in a bad position because, like,
horrible position. Horrible position because you didn't get the kill, and Varian's taken way too much damage. At this point, this beacon is gone. You do not fight for this beacon anymore. I expect you to just run away, which you have done. They do have vision on you. Remember this. With that laser being on you, they do have vision on you. So.
Once he uses that ult, that gives him vision.
Until the laser's gone, they will have vision on you. If I was the enemy team,
things like that, I don't know, but
there's an eye on your head. You can actually, the game actually displays it.
Or I wasn't.
You see this eye, this red eye?
Yeah, for sure. You got it. Yeah.
Even the circle.
No reason to not know that. Yeah, but I don't do anything dumb at this point. I don't think. I'll probably just go back for help.
It's more so that I would not have gone this way. I would have gone that way because I just saw the fight going on here. They may have been chasing these 2, and they had vision of you going here. So if I was the enemy team, I definitely would have gone for you here. They're gonna go top lane for the beacon now. You can't see it. Face checking this bush could have resulted in an instant death. I'm not sure why I didn't pick up during the coaching session. Maybe I was a bit distracted. But yeah, you cannot be checking this bush with your face when you have no vision on an enemy team. You're here because, okay, what you've just done is super risky. You've only seen Artanis. You don't know what enemy team is. I would expect, if I was a tank, I would do what you just did. But you're not a tank, and you don't have Counter-Strike. Very likely that Arena Vengeance or Gravity Lapse or an Oriole Whip will come out one of these bushes.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they, boss? Oh. They're rotating. They've all rotated top lane. See, this is what I mean. If this was our higher rank, you would have been punished hard for this. You would be dead at this point. Because there's no team that rotates 5 people after they've gotten a kill to the other beacon. Just to secure one beacon. An organized team, or even just diamond and above, would have at the very least, an Artanis or Dahaka here. So just be careful about that next time. Just if you can't see the enemy team, check the bushes of VW. This bush would be the most likely. Because with this one here, you have enough distance to react. You can stand here, and you have enough distance to react to whoever's coming out. They could come out here as well. It's quite unlikely, but also something to think about. Bushes aren't the only way that you can hide from people. You see how you don't have vision here?
Yeah.
Yeah. There are... this is like high level play. People can stand here as well. I'm not talking about a shadow. This is
because it's a cone of vision. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see what vision you had there. Yeah, you see Artanis top. I think they all killed Gul'dan top lane. They must be rotating. You should expect them to be rotating, but Vala's top lane. I don't know why they haven't rotated to you. They are on the way. Okay, 2 of them were on the way. I wouldn't have deadly charged. I would have waited for Varian to come. Because deadly charge doesn't do anything there. The damage that you're doing is irrelevant. Lucio needs to get the hell out. Varian's dead. You've lost this beacon. Rag did a good job of going up and taking that. Let me just see when you were 16. You've actually taken what's it called? Lethal Onslaught?
Yeah, the crits.
Yeah.
Lethal Onslaught. And again, the Lethal Onslaught was because 2 really tanky frontliners are going to get value from smashing their faces when they're... Do
you know what hits harder than those auto attacks?
A second Q.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't like
I never
Lethal
take
Onslaught in
no,
general, huh?
because I would rather have a second combo on multiple targets than have focus damage on one target. And right now the focus damage on one target is not getting you anything. It is no value to you. You want to be pulling these guys in. You need to think about these lot. You are obviously not right now, not in this particular situation, because you need to be getting the hell out of here. Gul'dan's dead. You can't take any fight. But yeah, in terms of lethal onslaught, this is another one of those times where it's more... This I will allow in terms of playstyle. But I personally feel that you get more value out of knocking strikes. So you've done the right thing in backing. I would like you guys to take a camp here. Ragnaros is so damn deep, and
yeah, he's gonna die here in a second because he's
because he's so deep. I would expect that the enemy team is at least going to send one person here. So theoretically speaking, let's say you only see one person on Ragnaros, you still can't take this beacon. If they send 2 people, then it's an even fight. But do you want an even fight? Or do you just want to wait for Varian to come up and take this one? In fact, if they send one person up there, another person to go for that beacon, maybe they send 2 people up here. Maybe they send 2 people up here. I think, personally, once I would hover around here, maybe even take a camp at this camp, or this camp, check this bush, and wait to see what they do with Ragnaros. And what they do with this beacon. Once I see those heroes, I will invade here with Lucio and Gul'dan. Because at best, you've got a 3v3. You have a support, The hackers, I mean, you don't have a tank. It's not the best case scenario, but you might be able to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe another option would be to also hover mid again, wait to see who they've sent up here. The thing is, what you can't tell who's here.
Mm-hmm.
Even if just one person shows up here, you can't tell if there's 10 other people around here.
Mm-hmm.
So based on what they've sent here and what they've sent up here, you can deduce how many players are here. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you went in here like, oh, I only see one person, but there was actually 4 people here, well, that was your own fault. But because you've seen one person here, this is all theoretical, obviously, then you know there's 3 people maximum here. And that's an even fight. Yeah, you don't have a tank, which puts you at quite a decent disadvantage, and you don't have sound barrier. That, in terms of what you can do at that time, that's the best you can get out of it. You've come here to, I assume, protect this beacon. They've rotated up. Well, they're trying to rotate up. Kel'Thas isn't. See what I mean? So, at this point, Artanis, what I just said, Artanis would have been here. They've sent Oriol and Vala here. I know that Dahaka and Kel'Thas could be here. But I've got 3 people, and we're going to crush them. You take this beacon off them. You delay for Varian. I don't know why they're sending all 4 people. You don't fight here. This is a waste of time. That would have been a kill, actually. I say a waste of time, but that would have been a kill, but you're still not achieving a lot. You could have achieved more somewhere else.
What would have been a kill? Did I misplay?
Yeah, you missed Vala.
I whiffed at something again. It happens. But wish it happened 0 at the time. But I mean, on the losing games, I'm whiffing more.
Okay, you didn't need applied force here. It would have helped, but you didn't need it. Yeah, you missed your Q because she was in range of that. If that thing was just moved slightly that way.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I can't tell you where to point your mouse. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to teach someone to land skill shots.
I'm generally pretty good at landing them, but
it's just practice.
Some games I'm not as good, and
honestly, it's just practice. Yeah. Sometimes I miss as well. Let me just look at your vision. You have deadly charge here. Potentially, you could have even deadly charged her. You got swapped in, yeah. Is that your first death? I haven't seen you die before. Very second death. When did you die before? I can't remember. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, you've lost a beacon here. This is good. So usually on this map, if you're at a disadvantage, you want to be just running around from beacon to beacon.
Mm-hmm.
Because at some point they have to split their team in order to maintain both. You might be able to take a fight at some point.
But how do we catch a level at this point? Like, now we're 2 levels behind.
Don't worry about that. This is good for you.
Okay.
So think in brackets, okay? So let's say this was 15 to 17 is worse than 16 to 18.
Mm-hmm.
Purely because of the talent here. 16 to 19 is also better than 15 to 17. Even though you're 3 levels apart, you don't have that talent here. It's so significant. It really is. It changes a lot of things. Yeah, don't worry about that they're 2 levels ahead. Worry about what talent tier you're on and whether you're on the same one. And worry about, the numbers and who's there right now. How many players are up. The reason why your team is losing here is because you keep getting picked off one by one. None of you are utilizing the map properly. You're not. I mean, like I said, it's a bit of a mind game. I knew that they were going to send Ragnaros there. I knew they would at least send one person here. They may have predicted that. They may have been so smart and said, you know what, they're going to think we're going to do that, so we're just going to wait 4 people here and kill whoever comes here. But honestly, I wouldn't expect that in Silver. And this is how you rank out of those things. And once you do start seeing that those tactics or those methods stop working, then you have to change your playstyle. Because if I played the same way I played in Master Rank in here, you would think I'm playing so safely that it's actually cringe to watch it. You'll probably see me checking bushes for no reason, or being too worried to go into a beacon. Because on a higher level you would expect that. But that's fine, it doesn't matter. Go Varian, go! I believe. Yeah, he gets the Q. He gets an Enoch. There you go. He's dead. He's dead.
Oh, he gets killed by minions.
I mean, honestly, it's not the worst thing he did. I think that was okay. He traded his life with one person. And you've got a push coming in. It's not the worst thing, but it's not the best thing either, because you do need your tank. They've taken 2 keeps, so it's quite smart of them. Because I'm not exactly sure if they can end here. They can't, because of Ragnaros. He still has Molten Core. So they've opted to take double keep, gets them very close to 20. Are they looking at it? I mean, based on the time, you only have 2 minutes left. So I'm assuming something bad's going to happen very soon. And I'm willing to bet it's because they're 20 and you try and take a team fight on the boss.
At this point, everybody's demoralized and people are thinking that we can't win, right? Because we have no keeps left.
I don't have the chat up, so... Oof! Oh no! Mate, you need to be here. These are kills here. This is probably a very, very... Look at this. You've been standing around here. I think you were typing. I'm not sure. But you stood around here for a bit. I know you said you were demoralized, but we're talking...
Probably also hesitating because I don't know what our next move at this point. Like, I look at this and I'm like, well,
just follow your team. At this point, just follow your team. Stay with your tank. That's the only way you're going to secure the kills. I mean, your next... It's, to be honest, it's actually a simple answer what you do here. You've seen that the enemy team is 19. They're getting close to 20. You need to take a fight before 20. Because if you don't, you're very unlikely to win after that point. So after you see that the lanes are fairly pushed, like you're not... Maybe your team could have spent time clearing one more lane on each... one more wave on each lane. But based on what your team has done here, they can see that they're here. And you could have been with them as well. So you're still standing here.
I must be typing.
Yeah. I mean...
Or I think they're stupid for taking that fight, or I don't know.
This might sound harsh, but it was entirely your fault. That, because you made it so that they had absolutely no way of winning that. Because with you there, at least you had a chance. But without you there, there's no chance. Because he doesn't even have Sulphurous, he can't even bring out the damage to it. That's good, but yeah, this is the game. So, in terms of that ending part, I mean, I don't need to say any more on it. It's fairly obvious. What could have happened?
I already felt like we were screwed. I thought they were going to get 20, and we were too. And I was kind of giving up. You know, it stinks, but
yeah, this is going off on not exactly gameplay mechanics, but if it ever gets to a point where you feel like you have to type, I mean, it happens to me as well. So this is something I'm telling myself right now. If it ever gets to a point where you feel like you have to type to someone, then it's probably best to just stop playing for that time. Like
just stop playing or stop typing.
Or stop typing for one.
Yeah.
And if you feel like it's so bad that you can't stop typing, that you actually do get involved with someone and you're arguing over whatever. I mean, even if it's just a 5-minute break, you don't need to, run away or go for a jog or whatever. People deal with it in different ways. People have higher tolerances. People don't even need to take a break, but commonly it is a good idea just to take a little break, go get a glass of water or whatever, because things can get heated, and tilt is a very real thing.
Yeah, I suffer from tilt big time.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the reasons one of the things that's keeping me down. But I didn't expect you to be able to coach me through tilt. I just
Yeah,
sometimes I know I have to work on my own.
it's
Yeah.
it's something. The thing is that affects gameplay. That's why I'm talking about it. It does affect gameplay. So you want to be at your maximum or near maximum for every match. If you want to actually rank up, if you want to actually get better.
Well, I
And
definitely.
I assume that's why we're having this session.
Heck yeah.
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 On that basis, that's why I've brought that up. Thank you guys for watching. That was my first ever time coaching, so I do apologize if some things were a bit rusty or too many ifs or ums or buts, but I'm trying to get as much information across in a short time that we had. I know that, I mean, the video did go on for quite a long time, but to me, while I was doing it, it felt like it was a short time. So I hope you guys learned something from it. If you guys have any feedback, that would actually be really great for me. If there's anything you guys felt like I missed out or left out, like some very alarming statements that I made or didn't make, then please point that out and I will address that in a future video or a future coaching session. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you guys next time.